mean, the place once survived entirely on hope, cigarettes, and buffet shrimp, but now it's just odd that a city that people were born in is just going to disappear. Just seems weird. Bugs outside? Oh, that's a beautiful part of nature. Bugs inside? Now we're handling a border crisis. Thanks for checking out the show today. Thank you for subscribing to @BudFord Also on the show today, the first signs of retirement, dressing like a bait shop employee. Thanks again for being a part of @BudFord Now, if you ever drove from Los Angeles to Vegas in the 90s, you know Primm wasn't just a destination. It's really more of an emotional reassurance. Because the fact is, out there in that desert, it's lonely. Primm, Nevada was just a gambling town, and now it may become a gambling ghost town. Back in the day, Primm felt super important. Not successful, not luxurious. Important because this long drive through the desert in an era of cars that were suspect at best when it comes to dependability, Primm was the first sign of civilization and proof that it still existed. Because out there in the desert, I mean, you're driving for hours. There's dirt, there's mountains, there's heat mirages, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, it's a casino, it's a McDonald's, it's a theme park. Like somebody was trying to start a city and they used only slot machines and French fries. And I remember during that drive, and it's been a very, very long time, I was about 20 years old then, a buddy of mine and I went out to LA, we flew out, and I remember I had to pay $400 for that flight, which is about what that same flight costs today from South Carolina to LA. It's just funny that that money really hasn't changed. So I paid the money. We did the flight, got out to LA, and then our plan was we hung with some family, and then we were going to hop in a rental car from Ugly Duckling Rent-A-Car, which already sounds like I'm making this story up, but that's not really true. Ugly Duckling Rent-A-Car was a place that I was in one time, and I remember standing in that business and thinking to myself, they probably also sell loose fireworks and stuff too. They just got stuff back there that don't make no sense. Now back then, you could not rent a car unless you were 25. That was the rule, and it may still be the rule. America decided, you know what? No 22-year-old man shall have interstate freedom, not in a rental. And I don't know why they put it in Congress or what they did, but it's probably fair in retrospect. So I had a buddy of mine that worked over at the insurance company, and through a chain of faxes, I had proof that they would insure it even though I was below the age. So they did it, and we were able to get out with that thing. Now, I did say faxed in this story. How old do you have to be for the word fax to come up as a natural part of a story? I know right now you're thinking, tuberculosis treatment? No, that was 1880. So you have to start doing the numbers. I get it. We got this car, and we are rolling across the desert. I mean, as fast as a Chevrolet Corsica goes. The car had the horsepower of an enthusiastic dishwasher. You would floor it, and the engine sounded encouraging, but not powerful. You were like, come on, we can do this, buddy. I'll never forget it. When I drove that car, I drove it like the four-banger that was in it, right? I'm doing 75 across this desert because I don't know what the speed limit was. Who cared? We were just dudes that hung out in high school with some other guys that were going to make the trip but couldn't afford it. So we bounced out, flew out, and he had family, my buddy did, out in California. I talk about the trip all the time because it's one of the greatest trips ever. The desert doesn't look like South Carolina or North Carolina. It's different. South Carolina has green trees, humidity, life. Out there, that's not what happens. It's like Earth got abandoned halfway through construction, just endless brown space, signs warning you your radiator's about to die, and every once in a while, if you're blessed, a little casino will pop up. Primm, Jeans, State Line, the little gambling outpost just sitting out there in the middle of nowhere, like somebody lost a bet with urban planning. And the second you crossed into Nevada, everybody got excited, right? Because Gambling used to feel glamorous and now, well, casinos are everywhere. But back then, when you crossed into the state, you were like, I have arrived. I too can gamble. And Primm's going to rise out of that dirt and become a pretty profitable little mecca before it's all over. People stopped. We had to. We had to touch civilization again because hours in that dirt, we were losing our mind. We'd lose $20 just because it was legal. It's called patriotism. Sometimes you have to give up money. It's a tax. It's just part of the way it works. Primm is collapsing. The casino done. The hotel shutting down. All of this, these people are losing their jobs. Some people were born there. Like this was a city. Your kids could have been born there, and the city is just going to disappear. That's jacked up as chocolate cheese. It doesn't make sense because places like that represented possibility. Road trips, cheap buffets, bad decision, adventures, all of those things. LA to Vegas, just a fun trip to make. Primm was never pretending to be Vegas. Vegas was how rich you could be. Primm was like, you need gas and probably a shrimp cocktail. You want to drop a 20 in? We got casinos. I mean, that's kind of how it went. Casinos used to be loud, boisterous, proud, lights for days, cigarette smoke, and optimism. You know, now it's a little different. All these casinos sort of look like an airport designed by perfume companies. And Vegas, as we know, got a little big for its britches. We stuck every NFL, NFC, AFC, QFC, NASCAR went out there, basketball, hockey, street hockey, grass hockey, field hockey, everything showed up in Vegas. And all of a sudden, somebody in Vegas went, crap, you got to pay for this with something. And people don't show up to the Lithuanian ping pong matches like you think they would when they're being held in Vegas. I'll tell you that. Lithuanians don't travel well. We learned that. That's how you learn. The real issue is the fundamental change in Vegas wanted you inside back in the day. They hit cheap food on you. You could get steaks at a decent price, ones you could actually chew. You could get cheap rooms, cheap drinks. Now Vegas charges $19 for a bottle of water and everything smells like pot. People are walking through casinos, holding budgeting apps. It ruins the whole mood entirely. It used to be chaos was supposed to happen. Now it's really planned through the app. And I think that's probably why places like Primm faded. I mean, the whole point wasn't just the convenience. Obviously, it was neat. It was a chance to stop. It was a chance to breathe again and touch living other humans, talk to them and stuff, and get food from them. I said touch them. I didn't mean that. You shouldn't just go running around touching people. Even back in the 80s, it was considered a faux pas. Because now we can gamble on our phone, so we don't need all that. We're at soccer practice dropping a 20 on a game, maybe 20 large. I don't know how you roll. Nobody needs a roadside casino. In fact, nobody really needs Vegas, as we're all learning. But the road trip part, for me, was America. It was as American as it can get. You're driving through the desert. Got your boy hanging out. Y'all are eating fast food wrappers from LA. About to starve. Thank God we found Primm. We're in a rental car, music up loud, stopping at weird little casino towns that seemed impossible yet magical at the time. That was freedom. And if you've ever driven from LA to Vegas, you know exactly what I mean. Because somewhere out in that desert with, like I said, the mountains, the mirages, the blinking casino lights. One time, back in the day, there was a Chevrolet Corsica giving it all it had. And me and my high school buddy, Chris, we were on a trip that we would be talking about some 40 years later. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool how those memories can just come back, and hopefully they'll figure it out for Primm. There's a mad dash to save it. Happened in my office the other day. The second a spider disappears after you try to kill it, that room is no longer under your control. Now, the article reads, should you feel guilty for killing bugs in your house? And immediately in my mind, I went, nope, next story. Apparently, scientists think that bugs may feel pain. Okay, what about the pain I feel? Especially when Something with 17 legs runs across my bathroom at 1:30 in the morning. Huh? What about the pain that I feel? The fear that I feel? And let me be clear. I'm not trying to be all rude. I'm not trying to own the whole world. Side of my 425 square feet, that's your world. You can have that. I don't get in your business. I don't mess with nature. You want to pollinate flowers? Pollinate the hell out of them. Beautiful. Eat leaves, get busy. Live under a rock, fantastic. But the second that you cross into my house, this becomes a military situation because you made a terrible decision. There's no reason for a bug to ever be in my house. What brought you in? The ambiance? Did the bug just look around outside and go, you know what? I'm going to risk death today for some laminate flooring. And I ain't out here like some killing machine, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know that I buy that bees play for fun. I don't know that fruit flies experience depression. I don't know that. Tell you this, don't land on my sandwich then. Your depression chances go down tremendously. And spiders, they're the worst because they move like they owe somebody money. Nothing should disappear that fast. I had a cousin that way once, just like, boom, just ninja fast. You ever try to kill a spider and suddenly it's gone and now the room belongs to Satan? You can't sleep in there anymore. That's his bedroom now. You've got to disappear. Can't stay there. People always give the same advice. Oh, don't kill them. You just got to take them outside. I dated this girl one time when I was young. We were like 19 or something. She was a North Charleston granola. I don't know if you know anything about those folks, but Birkenstocks, moo-moos, you know, just, I mean, she was a great lady, a cool lady, and a wonderful lady, but she was functioning a little different. And I worked in this place and they had a roach problem. Luckily, I wasn't around food, but anyway, I would get ready to kill it. She would grab it and take it outside and release it. And I'm like, no. I'm not in the transporting the enemy personnel business. It's not what I do. I don't think bugs appreciate relocation because if you take a spider outside gently, I swear to you, they come back with like 3 cousins. Before you get back inside, they're like, yeah, this idiot drove us out here, bruh. And flies have amazing confidence, don't they? They'll fly straight at you, watch you try to kill them like 8 times, and then land on the same table again, and you still trying to chase them. That's either bravery or some kind of microscopic brain damage. I had a cousin like that once too. And mosquitoes, they aren't even bugs anymore. They are airborne medical bills. Everyone knows that. No one's ever slapped themselves harder than somebody fighting a mosquito at 2 a.m. in the morning. You should not wake up sounding like you're losing a UFC fight. And wasps, I don't know if I ever talked about this before, but I was on a photo group that we've specialized in night photography. So we were out on the road. There were 4 or 5 of us. So we were out at 2, 3 in the morning photographing things. I was always the guy that got rid of any light pollution, the bulbs and such. So one day I'm working my thing. I'm not bothering nobody. We pulled the truck up. We back it up. I jump out. I'm about to cover the light and everything's cool. And then I looked to my left and I looked to my right, and this was the awning, and it went for miles. There was a turn and it went on for another mile or so, maybe 6 miles. It was long. The uniformity is just insane. So then I realized, oh, you know how wasps sleep with their wings and they create that sort of to protect the hive thing, and they're all this metal. It looks like metal. And it was all the way down like that. And I'm like, great, I'm covering the light right next to 7 million wasps. And I don't even know what wasps contribute to society. At least bees make honey. Ladybugs are festive. Wasps are like angry air pimples. Every wasp acts like it's defending military secrets. Like, bro, you're under my deck. What kind of military? I have to mow this property, man. That's on you. It ain't on me. You walk near a bush and they scramble out like somehow you just touched the door at Fort Knox and everybody's freaking out. I don't like them at all. I know you nature people right now. I can feel it. I can feel. Maybe it's you. You're like, hey, all life has value. Until bed bugs arrive, right? And then all of a sudden, everybody turns into Liam Neeson, don't they? They're all like, nobody's negotiating with bed bugs. Well, perhaps we can coexist peacefully. No. People immediately become medieval, right? You got your fires, you got your chemicals, you got your mattress covers, psychological collapse. There's a line. It's there. That's where it is. The line in my place is, are you in my house acting disrespectful? Because that's where morality changes. And the article said, we should kill bugs, which I didn't expect, but they say do it in humane ways. Bruh, when I see a roach, I'm not conducting a philosophical symposium. That's not happening. This isn't ethics. This is reaction time. And bugs know they're not supposed to be there. That's why when you flip on the light or the refrigerator light catches them, they stop, because it's guilt. That roach looked right at me, and it goes, this punishment is fair. I could see it in its eyes. It knew it. I don't enjoy killing bugs. Like I said earlier, I'm not out here trying to keep stats. I'm not keeping score. But there is a difference between respecting nature and surrendering your kitchen, because that ain't happening. Because once ants show up, they tell everybody. I don't know if they have cell phones. I know they make long lines of things to stuff or whatever, but they tell everyone. They treat your house like a cruise ship. It's like a cruise review website. Oh, y'all gotta try the place. Unlimited crumbs. You came in uninvited. You didn't help pay for nothing. You didn't contribute to anything, as Snoop would say. You did not put in on this, man. You got to start helping if you want to hang out here. And now you have to pay the price for this egregious misstep. That's how it works. I'm sorry. Thanks for being a part of the show. Thanks for subscribing today. And thanks again for your time. Something I've learned of late, retirement is just YouTube and matching haircuts. Retiring early may speed up cognitive decline. I always wondered about that, but it still feels rude when I read it, because retirement has always been sold as the finish line, right? That's the whole dream. No more meetings, no more alarm clocks, no more emails marked important that turn out to be about Miss Betty's cupcakes and the birthday celebration. This is freedom. Now scientists are like, well, just a side note, your brain will immediately begin powering down. That's not in the brochure. That's like hearing, congratulations on your vacation. Your memory will now be erased. You meet those folks that are like 92 and they're somehow sharper than you, and that makes no sense. Meanwhile, I walk into a room and I'm like, why am I in here? And then I got to walk back out and then walk back in to remember why. That's messed up too. And they're over there building burnt houses, playing tennis. They're doing a little bit of pickleball, doing taxes on the side for other people, and somehow they're still dating. Old people date more confidently than young people, because young people need therapy, 3 apps, some emotional closure. 90-year-olds are like, whew, Ethel passed in March. Me and Carol are going to Branson on Thursday. That generation just keeps right on moving. They know time's limited. You can't blame them. And the article says work helps keep your brain sharp because it gives you structure, purpose, social interaction, and mental challenges, which makes all the sense in the world. Your brain has to have activity, right? You can't just retire and immediately become a decorative floor lamp. It's dangerous. You see somebody retire and 6 months later, like they're finished, like it's over. Their entire personality in that 6 months becomes talking about the weather. That cloud looks angry. You're like, you used to run a company, Frank. The biggest decline comes, based on what I read, when you're forced out of work, when you feel like you were unjustly asked to leave that job, which is completely understandable and horrible, because there's a huge difference between I retired early because of careful planning and the factory closed down and now I have to spend Tuesdays sitting here arguing with pigeons. Stress changes people, but purpose changes people too, and that keeps people alive. I think that's the thing we notice, or at least I notice around here. The active older folks seem to be sharper longer. They find things to care about. They volunteer, they garden. They're talking about raising aloe vera plants on their porches and such. They play music. Sometimes they get together here and they play bunco for babies and stuff. Some of them annoy city council meetings professionally. I mean, it's a thing. You can do it, but they stay engaged. And I think movement matters too. My grandpa lived to like 93, and I'm telling you, the man never sat down. He didn't sit down. He just kept walking. It was weird. Every super old healthy person that I've met, though, moves around constantly, so I think that's part of it. They don't really exercise, though. They just refuse to sit down. My generation bought watches to remind us that we were slowly dying in office chairs, so that's kind of different. And old people from that era, they're built completely different because they survived cigarettes in restaurant, probably smoked a lot of those decades, lead paint, seat belts that were totally a suggestion. Shoot, they cut them out of some cars. And somehow they still wake up at 5 ready to reorganize the garage, which is, I don't know if it's health, but it's definitely unresolved wartime energy. I think routine matters more than we admit because work forces you into rhythm. Podcasts forces you to think daily. Think about that. This forces you to write things. It forces you to intentionally see the funny in life. It's almost therapeutic. That's why everybody in the world does one, I think, because everybody's got one. You know that. You got to wake up. You got to solve problems each day. You got to talk to people. You got to put your big boy pants on or your big girl pants on. And that's important because that last one keeps society functioning properly, right? Because if you never wear pants, that's just weird. Now, I know retirement sounds amazing, but I watch people out here, and to me, it does sound good until probably Tuesday afternoon about 1:40, and I realized, this is the rest of my life, watching stuff on YouTube and spending 4 hours seeing a man restore a tractor. That's cognitive drift, to say the least. But I also don't think I want to work forever. To you, I don't think I want to be, 85, still trying to pull down a job, but I don't think I'm ready to give one up yet. And we also know, too, that depending upon what the job is, it may be aging you. You ever see somebody who's been in customer service for 30 years and their cell phone goes off and their soul just leaves their body right when it rings, and every time it's the same thing? Yeah, those people need to rest their brain. They've given enough. You have to learn stuff, go places, stay curious. That's why the active, older people seem younger. They still participate in life. I struggle with that sometimes. I want to sit out. Meanwhile, some people at 55, 56, 58 retire and immediately start dressing like they own a bait shop. That's usually the first warning sign. Now, the second warning sign is eating dinner at 4:11 in the afternoon, and I'm going to give you the third one. This is a bonus. When married couples have matching clothes and matching haircuts, that's a sign right there. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate your comments and checking us out on iHeart, Apple, Spotify. Those things are getting downloaded like crazy, so we're very blessed. Thank you so much for your time today.